always been seen as different. Born with facial paralysis, speaking and sight issues, and asymmetrical legs, this girl grew up hating the way she looked, labeling herself as an ugly creature. Despite her insecurities, however, Carrie was strong and believed with all her heart that even though the comments were cruel and the looks were dirty, she was worthy of love. Even still, life was hard. As a teen, she wrote a despairing journal entry with questions that asked, "Will I ever find love? Will I ever be loved?" We can all agree that everybody has insecurities. My insecurities range from not being good enough for someone to the sound of my laugh. But while the definition of love has been confused, mangled, and thrown through the ringer by our culture, we can also all agree that at its core, love is something everybody desires and deserves in light of the work of Christ, despite our insecurities. Don't just think about your friends, family, and peers that deserve love. How many people haven't been able to explore, pursue, experience even what it means to love because their life and their chance to do so was taken from them? Through the world's leading cause of death, the answer would be millions upon millions. Your mind probably went to cancer, car wrecks, or heart disease, but that isn't what I'm talking about. I'm actually talking about an extremely politically relevant topic in today's news: abortion. In this speech, rather than rehashing all of the horrors of these procedures, I'd instead like to focus more on the women who choose to get them. What are their reasons? Should they change our perspective? I'll be answering these questions by examining first the real reasons for abortion, and secondly, the impact and the ways that we can help. By the time I'm through, it's my goal to have persuaded you that the most effective way we can save these children's lives is by supporting their mothers. Legislation, doctors, and politicians would have us believe that abortions are only performed when absolutely necessary to preserve a mother's health or if the fetus isn't viable. While this is a logical sounding answer, it's an incorrect one, and frankly, a dishonest one as well. The two most popular generalized categories of women who get abortions have nothing to do with safety. The first category include women without support. The National Center for Biotechnology Information did a study that showed the top reasons women get abortions are because they're financially disadvantaged, have partner-related issues, or have bad living situations. It's a little too easy to fall into the trap of thinking that all these women view the baby inside of them as solely a liability, because this is rarely the case. But while lacking support is the most popular reason, there's no denying that some women do have access to support. The second category is fear. A while ago, my mom had a friend, we'll call her Jenny. Jenny had just learned she was pregnant and was terrified. My mom did everything she could to help, telling her, "Don't get an abortion. Don't do it, Jenny. If you are scared or have doubts or need resources or need help or anything, call me." Lots of time passed and she never called. It was a while before my mom heard the heartbreaking story behind her tragic decision. After their dinner conversation, Jenny had wrestled for quite some time over what to do. Jenny, who wasn't a Christian or even religious, prayed to God one night that he would give her a sign if he wanted her to keep the baby. God, in his amazing grace, provided one. After her prayer, she looked out her window at the sky and saw a cross painted clearly in the stars. As miraculous and as clear as this was, it wasn't enough for her. Lies like "this baby will wreck the life you've built" seeped into her mind and polluted her thinking. She went through with the abortion, but not without severe consequence. Jenny, from that day on, had nightmares. She dreamt about the baby girl she almost had, and about the life she had exterminated because of her fear and stubborn will. Jenny represents the second prominent group of women who get abortions, the ones that do have support, but are tricked by the devil himself into thinking that abortion is the getaway car they need in the heat of the moment. Only after it's all said and done does the realization set in that what they walked into the doctor's office to get rid of was a human, a person. Another powerful example of the unanticipated side effects is told from the perspective of an abortion survivor named Audrey, the only one to live to tell the heartbreaking tale that she survived her mother's attempt. Her her twin didn't. Audrey remembers her mom having horrible mental issues that left her bedridden. Therapy didn't fix it, medication didn't fix it, and what was later officially declared post-abortion syndrome killed her mom prematurely. Why did Audrey's mom try to abort her twins? She was afraid, just like Jenny. Now I'm willing to bet that most of what I've said so far has left you a bit conflicted. Am I persuading you to support these women, or will it be a lost cause? Let me tell you another story. A while ago, I had a friend of a friend who had been through unspeakable trauma, pregnancy by rape. I learned that this young college girl decided to keep the baby because she wasn't alone. Her mother was willing to sacrifice everything and stay right by her side. This is why our willingness to offer a helping hand is so important. There is no foolproof way to eliminate abortion once and for all, but we must know that it is never the right answer. I've read story after story saying that when the mom chose life for her child, she didn't regret it. Was it challenging? Yes. But did she regret it? No. So while we sometimes can't do much for those like Jenny who stiff-arm our love, we can still pray for them. We can still warn them about the side effects, about the risk of lifelong haunting that will occur by giving into fear. And for those who choose to swallow their fears and accept our love with thankfulness, our efforts will not be in vain. We can make an impact. We just need to be willing to work for it. And there are plenty of concrete ways you can do that. The first is through adoption or foster care. A South Korean man named Josiah Presley was an abortion survivor who, after spending only 1 year in foster care, was adopted by a family in the US that, in addition to him, saved 10 other children by adoption. So while God doesn't call this life for everyone, pray about it and consider the life or the lives you may be saving. The second, more accessible way you can help is through funding. Your local pregnancy centers are a great place to start, which usually offer free services to the general public. In addition, one quick Google search will get you access to hundreds of pro-life organizations. Save the Storks, National Right to Life, and Heartbeat International are just a few that offer creative and hands-on ideas to get people involved with saving lives. A third way you can help is by giving your time. Volunteer at these pregnancy centers. Pray for the unborn and pray for their mothers and the circumstances they find themselves in. Get your church involved. Start a support group specifically designed to help young women with whatever they need. Offer meals, babysitting younger children, cleaning the house, doing yard work, running errands. The list goes on. Promote your and your friends' willingness to support these mothers as much as you can. It may be just the very thing a desperate expecting mom stumbles upon. This isn't an exhaustive list by any means, but it is enough to get you started. Don't be discouraged by the mass amounts of numbers. Together, little by little, we can make a big difference. You never know whose life you may be saving. The friend they could have been, the people they could have helped, the things they could have created. Remember Carrie from the beginning? Her mom tried to abort her. I stumbled across her viral interview, and in it she explained that all of her deformities were a result of her mom's attempted abortion. But the girl doesn't have any bitterness. Her forgiving nature is so overwhelming, I was moved to tears. When asked about their mother-daughter relationship, both turn and look at each other with smiles on their faces, saying that they're best friends. Carrie's mom says, "The amazing thing is that she forgave me." She repeats the phrase with visible disbelief. She forgave me. Carrie adds, "I've accepted the things she's done, and we just love each other." So, sure, Carrie looks different from most, but from what I can tell, she's a beautiful person with a lovely personality and sense of humor. I want to motivate you judges to keep the pain of Audrey's mom and of Jenny, and the miracle of Carrie and Josiah in the forefront of your minds, even after I walk out of this room. Let them fuel you to do your part in making sure the right to life is protected of those in the womb, and the mothers are warned of how badly an abortion will affect them. I've spent so much time praying for all of the judges that would hear this speech, asking God for it to make an impact in your lives and for it to inspire you to take action. So go, take action. Help the helpless children by supporting their desperate mothers.